Phase 5 has kicked off in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and review Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. You are free to comment down below. What did you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? I know this video is 3 weeks late. I'm just lazy. With that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And without further ado, let's just get right into this review.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
After seeing the second trailer, I had pretty high hopes for this film. So with that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that this is the first Phase 5 movie, and it finally feels like we're having trajectory. It feels like in the MCU, we're going somewhere with the introduction of Kang and the quantum realm and all of that. I just feel like this is the first important movie since Eternals, because Eternals was pretty important now. But I think for the rest of the MCU, where we know we are going, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the first film to do that. So obviously, I have to give it props. Paul Rudd is, this is just as great as he's always been as Ant-Man. I mean, he's charming, he has charisma. I love him. Evangeline Lilly as Wasp, we're going to get into her later. And I think Hank Pym inside of this movie, I'm going to get into that later as well. I see a lot of people loving the trip to the quantum realm. And yes, it does live up to the hype. The quantum realm is full of new, wacky characters that you just love to see, and the whole universe, the whole new world that they introduce here is an interesting new environment to see. In the case of world building and explanation of what's going on there and what Kang has done to this place is all fully fledged and realized. In fact, I would say that I was very immersed in this world of the quantum realm, and I think that was the fun of everything about this film. In my opinion, this is one of the best things about it. The quantum realm itself is wacky, it's new, it's creative. They do a lot of creative action sequences. They have new creative characters. I just think overall, everything dealing with the environment, just seeing this new world, the world building of the quantum realm, worked incredibly for me. And that brings us to Kang the Conqueror. Everybody has been saying incredible things about Kang the Conqueror. Going inside of the film, I was expecting great things. Incredible performance by Jonathan Majors. Going back to the He Who Remains character from the Loki season finale, again, I reviewed that season finale and I watched that and I felt chills. I felt scared for the MCU characters because of what He Who Remains was talking about. In that whole entire sequence, it was nothing but Jonathan Majors' performance that made me feel fear about what's to come. And even though it wasn't as scary and as fearful as it was in Loki, in this film, Jonathan Majors still is a powerhouse performance as Kang the Conqueror. And really, again, it just makes you terrified of what's to come. He has this menacing vibe about him, but he's also very sympathetic in a way, but he's not actually all the way a good guy, and he's not all the way, sympathetic. It's just the way that Jonathan Majors plays this character. I can't wait to see more of him. And we're going to see more of him in Loki Season 2. We're going to see more of Kangs in the Kang Dynasty. So I really can't wait to see what Jonathan Majors does with this character. And I hope that he continues to grow and bring something new with each variant of this character. To be fair, walking out of this movie, I didn't feel excited for him as more Kangs. I felt more excited for him in Creed 3. I love the Creed franchise. Creed 3 is my top 3 most anticipated film of the year. So when I go see Creed 3, I expect great things from Jonathan Majors. And guess what? I already hear great things about Jonathan Majors inside of that film. And I think my last positive here has got to go to post-Endgame Scott. We have seen the characters in post-Endgame world. Clint is still dealing with his past. Sam is struggling to get finances for his family. And a lot of people are displaced around the world. Whereas Scott, a nobody, writes a book about helping the Avengers save the universe, and he's getting praise. And he's not much of a hero now. He's more of like a celebrity now. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that throughout the entire movies, Ant-Man, Scott Lang has been treated like the smaller character. So I really love the idea of Scott writing a book and, not being the hero, really, just being the celebrity. And that has and there's a great story in there that relates to his daughter that I really think could have benefited this film. But with that being said, let's move right into the mixed. And the mixed thing that comes to mind here is that there is a story in here that works without the quantum realm. There's a personal story in here that can relate and fit perfectly fine in these series of Ant-Man films. But they wanted to go the quantum realm route for this. I wanted more of the Wasp, to be fair. Evangeline Lilly, she played her role alright in a sense, but I still wanted to see more of her inside of this film. The movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it's barely a duo film. And I also got to talk about Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer. Two legacy actors, both have gravitas added into the films. Hank Pym is more laid back in this film. He's more jovial. He jokes a lot more. It's different from the first film and the second film. And I also wanted to see more of the post-Endgame world. We just rush right into the quantum realm, probably in the first 10 minutes. On one hand, it's great that we get to spend so much time in this new environment. We're not in San Francisco anymore. And on this other end, it's like, I really wanted to get back to the personal level of the films. I really wanted to see more of post-Endgame through the eyes of Scott. And the messages they try to do here about socialism and protesting, they're in this movie. Multiple times when they brought it up, I just rolled my eyes. I looked at my friends, we looked at each other, and we just laughed. And we weren't laughing with the movie, we were laughing at the movie because you're not showing it. You're not bringing awareness to it. You're just talking about it. You just think because you drop one line about it, then, we gave them representation. That's not representation at all. And my last mixed thing here has got to go to Cassie. Now, usually mixed things are not good things. They're not bad things. They're just things that I want to talk about. Cassie is more towards the lines of mixed to bad. The reason why is because of the fact that when she first comes on screen, whole protest deal, that's her. And then they try to make an excuse for her being, very, very much more intelligent than Hope and Hank just from reading his journals while he was blipped away. I rolled my eyes multiple times. But then there's also scenes where you can see her grow big and she just runs towards her dad and jumps into his arms as they're both big and huge. That's adorable. That's what I want to see. I want to see Cassie be the Cassie that I saw in the first two Ant-Man films, just grown up. That's what I wanted to see. And you could tell that she loves her dad. It's just that I really felt like they wanted Cassie to be two different characters. They wanted Cassie to be the same girl, just grown up from the first two Ant-Man films. But they also wanted Cassie to be the avatar for their messages that they were trying to portray inside of the film. Either way, Cassie, not good. Definitely not terrible for me. Just in the mixed. And the bad thing that comes to mind here is that there's just no stakes. This film was marketed as the last Ant-Man film, the rise of a new dynasty. Kang the Conqueror is here. They even have a line in the trailer where Scott says, I don't have to win. He's bloodied. He's beat to a pulp. Kang is whooping that tail. His Ant-Man mask is broken. It drops to the ground. He's bruised. Everything. He looks at Kang and says, I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. Well, I tell you, nothing happens from that. This is not a spoiler. I won't tell you how. I'm just going to tell you nothing happens from that. There's no consequences with this film. Overall, everything just, there's no arc to it neither. The characters stay the same. The characters end the movie the same way that they started the movie. There's really no goal to this other than to get out of the quantum realm and make sure Kang doesn't leave. They did that. They succeeded. But there's no consequences to it. I gotta say, the biggest issue with the MCU right now is tonal issues. And this film has that. You can have one scene where Kang the Conqueror is threatening Scott and his daughter, or you can show a scene where Kang is committing wide genocide to characters that we really like. And then the next scene, you have the character of MODOK touching Scott's face. You have a scene of MODOK's butt. Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet is different from the second film. She is helping people with the quantum realm, but inside of this film, she's not giving people information when they need it. She continues to drag out the rest of the plot, so then we don't know what's going on in this world from Janet. I hope I am explaining that right. I guess I could say the real thing that I could say is the only thing that I can say is that Janet should have been displaced in the quantum realm from the rest of everybody else. That way we can see them figure out what is going on in the quantum realm, not from somebody that's already been there and she's just not giving them answers. How about from somebody that's still in there, that's lived in there before Janet, after Janet, and during Janet? And to me, when I walked out of this film, I thought it was pretty forgettable. I was pretty disappointed. I gotta say, from the trailers, I was hyped because I wanted a more dramatic story and ending for Scott. But with no dire consequences, I mean, I can't get myself invested in this film like that. The stakes were up. The tension was high in that film. And if anything, if they wanted to do it, if they did not want to kill off Scott, have him get trapped in the quantum realm again. But in this world. Or just kill him off. But this is the fake death universe, so you can't kill him off. Why not just get him trapped in the quantum realm? I just didn't understand that part. And the quantum realm rules are very, very, very strange. And they really need to get a handle on that. Because Janet was inside of the quantum realm for 30 years. And it was 30 years to them on the outside. But during the apocalypse for Endgame, Scott was only in there for 5 hours, whereas the rest of the world was out there for 5 years. So does that mean for the 2 hours or however long they were inside of the quantum realm, does that mean 2 years passed for them on the outside? That's questions that need to be answered when you say stuff like that inside of Endgame, or when you set rules for your new environment in Ant-Man and the Wasp. You gotta get cracking on that, Marvel. In conclusion, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania does wonders for world building in the MCU. Kang is freaking terrifying. But after revisiting the first two films before this one, I wish they would have stuck with the more ant-sized plot. I had a lot of anticipation for this film, but unfortunately, Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is a B and a 6.5 out of 10. And I would say, just wait for Disney+. Don't go see it in theaters unless you want to have an immersive experience. But to be honest with you, Avatar: The Way of Water had a way better immersive experience in 3D than this did. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please note that every name that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. And feel free to comment down below. What did you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also that Marvel playlist. That link is always in the description. Please don't forget to come back later for all Ant-Man movies ranked. And with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Peace.